Hello, everyone, and welcome to After 83 Weeks. On this show, we break down the latest episode of 83 Weeks with the man behind our favorite podcast himself, Eric Bischoff. And my name is Christy Olson. This, of course, is our first time coming together live since we lost Scott Hall. And next week on 83 Weeks, Eric and Conrad, of course, will be breaking down the life and career of the Diamond Stud. And joining us now is Eric Bischoff. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm sitting here chuckling. It's like what people that are watching this don't realize is like the first minute or two of this show, like before we go live, is probably the best part of the show. And we were just comparing the term face cue to money shot. And as I'm sitting here looking at the 83 weeks graphic, waiting for the face cue, I'm thinking, I don't know, this show is going to be a weird one. This is how we're starting out. But no, I'm good. I'm good.
That's good. We did just want to open by acknowledging, Eric, that you've lost a colleague and a friend. And, we have heard more about Scott Hall's role in the wrestling biz and how detrimental he was to the success of WCW. We've heard that on your podcast over and over again. And we look forward to next week to hearing what you and Conrad have to say.
Yeah, Scott was instrumental to the success of NWO. And, it's been, a little over a week now. So I'm, I think a lot of Scott's close friends kind of accepted it now and moved on a little bit and thinking about only the good stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff to talk about with Scott. And I look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to spend some time with your friends this week. We heard about that on the show. I got my friends here too. Oh, well, none of us are in that boat yet. Give us the good Way J stuff to kick us off tonight.
I'm going to do better than that. I am sending a screenshot to Mr. Kaufmann via text. And then if Mr. Kaufmann wants to post this as kind of B-roll,
okay,
that's cool. If not, it's on its way. Little Way J was great, but before we went to see Way J in Clearwater, Florida, Mrs. B and I spent better part of a week on Cape San Blas. Doesn't that sound fancy? But Cape San Blas is kind of about 80 miles from Panama City Beach, and a beautiful, beautiful location, isolated. It's like old school Florida in a big, beautiful home. And we just, Conrad and Megan and Conrad's mom and dad and Lori and I, and we just had a blast.
Wow, I love that one. You talked on the show about you had envisioned these beach rides with Mrs. B and a glass of wine. I hear that didn't exactly work out for you. You hop on some bikes instead?
Well, the wine worked out really well. The Jeep, we decided against it. There was just so much planned and so much going on. It was like, okay, we can only do so many things while we're here. So we've decided to forego the Jeep. But walks to the beach, yes. Wine, yes. Sunsets, oh, yes. All the good things that go with it, of course. But mostly just hanging out and having fun. Grilled some steaks and some shrimp, some crab legs. The sun's going down over the ocean, quiet. You can hear not only the sound of the waves, but you can feel the power of those waves and the vibrations that they create as it enters the marrow of your bones, and it creates an entirely different experience. But yeah, it was fun.
Wow, that was kind of sexy. Hey,
wow, there's Way J. Isn't that cute?
Was that his reaction to seeing Grandpa again?
Yeah, well, no, that was actually him coming out of the bath last night after I'd already left. But they sent me the picture, and I just thought, man, that is like the cutest damn picture of a kid. And I know it's my grandson. I know I'm biased. Don't care. Like so many things, don't give a fuck. But I know I'm right too, right? That's a cute kid.
And that's shaping up to be a pretty good head of hair there too. I mean, of course.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what Garrett. Have you seen Garrett's hair?
Yeah.
My son's rocking a freaking mohawk.
Ooh, nice.
And he wears it well.
I was just going to say, it reminds me of the Rod Stewart song. He wears it well. But yeah. It fits him. But yeah, knowing Garrett, WayJ will be he'll be the only kid in Florida, mind you, named Waylon with a mohawk.
There has to be more than one, no?
I don't know.
Okay, I like it.
You haven't been to Florida lately.
Yeah. Apparently they're shutting down at midnight in Miami Beach, so there's a thing.
Oh, you got out of there just in time.
Yes.
You got to hang out with some friends and family. We got friends and family here. Our fam from Ad Free Shows are joining us. They're going to get a special chance at the end of the show to get all their questions answered. And of course, my friends George Hermoza, Adam Woods, and Steve Kaufmann. Yeah, we didn't do that up the top there. Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on? No, man, let's get this show on the road. I mean,
Yes,
there's a lot of things that happen.
I was going to say we do have a lot of fun before the show, such as for whatever reason, somebody not believing me. I saw Gwen Stefani at the mall a couple days ago. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking like, of a cool experience, and you have somebody, a certain Hall of Famer. Oh, that's bullshit. You didn't see Gwen Stefani at the mall. I call your bluff. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I do. She's Gwen Stefani. I see her every day on my social media feed. She's hanging out, having a blast. No.
They are real people too,
They don't go to malls by themselves so that they can be accosted by fans. They
She
don't.
was with her kid. And the only reason why there was a slight inkling it wasn't her, because there was like a lot of high school kids around, and they were not like, oh my God, it's Gwen Stefani. But I really think in my heart of hearts it was her, that it was lead singer, no doubt, the voice. Without
All right,
Well,
so
Eric-
here's what I'm gonna do, George, because I know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah,
Actually-
Gwen's a friend of a friend, right?
Actually,
Don't
I
kayfabe
know-
us. We know.
I know a woman who knows a woman in this case. And a good friend of the family is the backup singer with Blake Shelton on tour. Has been with Blake for a long time. She's actually the woman on The Voice. She kind of puts together all the background singers and manages that process as well as performs on The Voice. So I'm going to ask Kara. I'm going to say, hey, Kara, so what's the deal? Was Blake hanging out in the mall with my buddy George Hermoza or not? And we'll see where that goes.
Well, I didn't see Blake. I saw Gwen and her. A young
Oh, yeah, like
kid.
Blake's going to just let her go to the fucking mall. Come on.
Maybe her
She wanted to do
kid's like a teenager now. Maybe he wanted to go to is Abercrombie and Fitch still a store these days, or Hollister? I don't know.
Hot
If
Topic.
it's a store these days.
Oh, wow.
George, have you ever wondered the way you show your age is to just name a store and be like, is that a thing? Did the kids
No
still go?
shit. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm so much older than you, George. I'm not even going to do the math. But I'm sitting here thinking, fuck, even malls are kind of a hard thing to come by anymore.
Yeah.
They're all closing down. Who goes to a mall to shop?
I only go. for the
Nobody.
food court.
You
I
order
only-
that shit on your phone.
In my defense, I walked in the food court area, ordered my Chipotle burrito, ate, and then left. So I didn't even go shopping. I just went to the food court.
Why did
You
you
went to
just?
a Chipotle.
Why did you just like Uber Eats that stuff or something?
Yes,
No, because
it's
I was
like-
out and about, and my kid was hungry. He wanted chips and walk from Chipotle, and
All right,
yeah.
whatever.
Wow. The daddy daycare files.
Wrestling question.
Yes, please, G Herm.
As I
We're
repeat.
12 minutes into the show. We haven't touched on even why we're here.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, wrestling question, because I wrote this down a couple weeks ago and I've been wanting to ask it for a while, because we always talk about how the WWE produces such a perfect, polished show with no errors, no nothing. Do you think that's out of necessity because they are pretty much a billion-dollar company with stockholders, with networks, and it's hard to kind of tell them, hey, we're going to leave things up to chance. We're going to leave things up to spontaneity, almost to the point where maybe they have to be polished just for the sake of telling those stockholders, saying, well, we kind of have to be because we don't really want to leave it up to the talent or things like that to kind of wing it live on the air every week.
I love that question. That's an insightful question, and I love that. My answer to that is no. Before I venture off into the tall grass, but my answer is no. I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason, it may be the result. Arguably, it could be the result of the emphasis on production over the last 3 decades. But I think the real reason is that's Vince McMahon's vision. If you see Vince McMahon, there is never a hair out of place. Check out his ties. He wears the same style of tie every single day. Different colors, of course, to match his very stylish suits, which he probably spends more money on than most human beings spend on automobiles. But Vince's idea of WWE is almost pristine and perfect as a brand. And I say that in a complimentary way. He sees it as such a valuable commodity, almost like one would view the tangible asset of platinum, right? And because that's the way Vince sees himself, I think that's what Vince has historically looked for in other characters, to be that perfect image of a specific type of character. Look at Roman Reigns right now. It's a perfect example. Where's the flaw in Roman Reigns? He looks like a Greek god, or in his case, a Polynesian god. You know, he's just, as Scott Hall would say, there you go. Every guy wants to be you, and every girl wants to be with you. You know, that's the Roman Reigns character. And I think that's an example of the kind of perfection that Vince sees within the brand of, and when I say within the brand, of all things WWE. It's one of the reasons why, as an independent contractor, I'm not getting into the independent contractor bullshit, but when I was a talent at WWE, I was required to wear a sport coat on the plane because WWE was paying for my ticket and I was representing the company. Therefore, when I was traveling, I had to wear a sport coat and dress slacks because that's the vision that Vince has for his product. I think what we see on TV is just a manifestation of that vision for perfection. I don't think it's because it, you know, a network is going to have to understand it and resist it. Actually, from my own limited experience, I think most networks right now will go, fuck yeah, let's give that a try, because that might work. So, no, I just think it's Vince's vision of the product.
Yeah, you were around during the dress code policy, right? I mean, was that just you?
As I just discussed, yeah, I was there. No, it was everybody associated with WWE talent. If you were talent in particular, because I think Vince's perspective was that, look, you're out there, you're on TV, people know who you are. All of that is true. So when people see you walking through an airport, they see you and you represent the brand, and they want you to look like the brand should be presented, which is in a classy, positive way, and not walking through the airport, you know, in a pair of sweatpants, you know, with a hoodie up over my head and sunglasses on because I didn't want anybody to recognize me.
But the boogeyman with a big stocking. Oh, that's funny.
Did you ever see those tracksuits that they make the NXT crew, I guess, wear, the NXT talent wear when they're traveling? They're like polyester, itchy and hot as F, just like cheap and disgusting. It's like sitting on a plane like, get me out of this thing. And they say NXT in bright yellow letters so everybody can see you all over the place. It's like it. I would have.
So,
rather
Christy,
been
would you like
wearing
to
a
talk?
sport coat.
Would you like to talk about this a little more off air? Maybe I could refer you to somebody that can help you kind of work through this relationship you have.
Do you know someone, Eric?
Because yes, I do, and I think there's a little bit of a mountain there. We got to get up over the top, get on the downside.
I swear to you, the tracksuit is like the number one gripe.
No shit, I can tell.
But is the travel wardrobe like formal or the tracksuit, and people choose the tracksuit, or is the tracksuit it?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
No choices.
That's because the NXT talent can't afford a suit.
Right.
They have to wear sweat clothes.
Truth. Well, Eric, let's turn the tables here a little bit. We do have all of our friends joining us live: Alexander and Eddie and Matt, and I know Charlene is here with us. All of our ad-free shows, top guys, and all of our subscribers from the 83 Weeks channel. And one thing that they want to know is whether you've been checking your Twitter mentions today.
I have not. I literally just got home here in Wyoming about 3 hours ago, and I'm fucking beat. And I've barely done the things I need to do to get through the day and end up sitting in this chair. And checking my DMs on social media isn't one of them. So no.
So are you unaware that MJF replied to you? Or
No.
you caught that? Oh,
No.
so we can get a blind react if you want.
Ooh, I like this.
What is a blind Oh, I see. Something I haven't seen or heard of before. All right.
Yeah, so just a few hours ago, you very kindly, Eric, you tweeted and said, everyone in the biz, any biz, use social media to promote. Some are good, some not so good, others create art. You tagged both Becky Lynch and MJF in this tweet and said they are the latter. Of course, this caught the attention of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who responded, Eric, and here's what he said. Eazy-E, I'd kiss you if I didn't think I'd contract something.
The only thing you'd contract MJF by kissing me would be an amazing amount of talent. You talk about a rub. I mean, if you and I hugged, even if we did one of those like really weird European air kiss things, you know, the rub would be so significant that if you think you're at the top of the game now, ha! Bitch, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Ooh, I like.
I mean, everyone makes a big deal out of Madonna and Britney still from the VMAs like a million years ago. I think you and MJF could probably surpass any like pop culture history that you could make with a.
I mean, look, there's no, you know, there's no spit swapping involved here, nothing. But you know, like one of those gimmick air hug things. You know, oh, I like you. You really don't. You're just touching your cheeks. Fuck, you do that on a fucking bus in Tokyo. It's no big deal. But I do that. I give a hug. I give a little rub, a little bounce of these cheekbones. These cheekbones are magic, by the way. Not only have they made me a ton of freaking money throughout my lifetime, but that's where the magic lies. I do a little cheek rub there with MJF, help get him over a little bit more, because everybody needs a rub.
Facts.
Well, facts. And he's also been very honest about the fact that his contract is up on January 1st, 2024 with
2024? Are we actually discussing somebody's contract that's up like, what, 2024? We're barely into 2022. Who gives a fuck?
We absolutely are, because he's already laying the groundwork for what he calls like the biggest negotiations of all time. I mean, he's put it out there. He's talking to Bruce. He says he's already got a front runner. He's got a number in mind.
Oh my God!
Think
Good
ahead.
for you, MJF. You're having fun with this shit, but you're launching a storyline 2 years before the payoff. Come on. Whatever. Have fun with it.
Is he even allowed to talk to Bruce at all, or vice versa? Like I wouldn't think
know.
so.
I've not seen his contract. What do I know? Not his attorney.
Ooh, that actually is into my next question. But go ahead.
All right, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Come on, bring it on.
No. Just because I Chris Jericho on his podcast yesterday had gimmick attorney Mike Dawkins talking all about trademarking. It was actually really, really fascinating for anybody that's in the wrestling business, just knowing the trademark, copyright, all that jazz. I know your real name, obviously Eric Bischoff, but did you have any issues with trademarking, you know, anything like that, Eazy-E or some of these other things that maybe belong to you?
I don't own Eazy-E. Anything that was trademarked by WWE with regard to me was a WWE thing, not my thing. I never tried to get any trademarks on my character. But I've got a fair amount of experience in the trademark business. Trademark and copyright law is something I could probably teach a class on. Well, I could be a good guest speaker. I couldn't teach the whole class, but like I should be invited on a regular basis to talk about trademark and copyright law, like in Yale and Harvard or UCLA or anybody that's in the entertainment law business, because I know a fair amount. I spent years in federal court in front of Jerry McDivitt in the WWE, in depositions, I should say, not federal court, in depositions in a federal lawsuit. So I know a bit about that, but I also know a bit about the trademark business in general because I succeeded in trademarking Buffalo Cody Bill beer. And that was a very interesting education and a very freaking expensive one that I think perhaps I could have paid for a law degree from Harvard or Yale. But yeah, I know a bit about it. But obviously Dawkins knows way more. I only know it as a victim or as a participant.
Plaintiff.
Yeah, plaintiff or defendant. I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
Dawkins knows the law.
Well, speaking of plaintiffs and defendants, did you get a chance to see the People's Court with Kevin Sullivan and J.J. Dillon? Which, by the way, I was surprised. J.J. Dillon's shoot name is James Morrison or Jim Morrison, not of the Doors. It's blowing my mind. But did you get a chance to see it?
I was actually. I'm not going to go into my travel detail because I always sound like a whiny bitch. However, for those of you who follow me on social media, did you get a picture of that fucking garbage they tried to put in front of me last night or yesterday in my first class seat? I know it's a first world problem. I get it. Fuck, I get it. Don't give a shit though, but I get it. But they put down something in front of me that was supposed to be lunch. And I looked at it. I think Nikki's right over here. No, she's kind of asleep right now. Can you see her? No, can't see her.
Oh, there she is.
Come on up here, Nikki. Come on up here, Nikki. There she is. Say hi, Nikki.
Oh, she missed you.
Oh, she did. But this was something Nikki wouldn't even eat. And I posted that. And then I think this morning when I got up, I had 3 missed flights. A flight that was supposed to take me 7 hours took me 22. So on one of those segments of that worldwide journey that I starved on, thanks Delta, somebody sent me a clip of that show, and I went, "What the hell? What are they doing? Who owes who? What is this?" But I didn't see it. I don't know what it is. I just know it exists.
Yeah.
Well, we'll all have to take it in. I know I saw the headlines too and haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet. But Steve Harvey, now a TV judge, that seems like something, Eric, that you could do pretty well.
Oh, can you imagine me as a judge?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, would I be laying down some fucking sentences or what?
What network?
Man, what network?
What network do we think that the Judge Eric Bischoff show should be on?
Syndication. Come on, that's where the
Syndicated
money's at.
daytime?
Yeah.
Syndication's too hard of a business now. Syndication is almost impossible, and to make any real money at it, I would go streaming. I would go to Vice. I'd say, look, you motherfuckers need to lighten your shit up a little bit because a lot of the docs and stuff you have. I mean, you're either like way the fuck woke or way the fuck dark. You need to find kind of a happy middle. Just every once in a while, light your shit up. And this would probably be pretty good for that. I don't think anybody there would listen to you because they're Canadians and such. But see what I mean? But where else would that work? I don't know, man. Maybe Netflix. I don't know.
Vice is perfect. I think for the reasons you stated, it's perfect. That's what I need out of my
yeah, but
Vice.
they're dark. They're just it's like when you watch them, you're either it's either teens gone murderers or fucking teen felons or whatever the fucking shit is, or this dark, that dark, everything's dark. I don't. That's their niche, right? That's their audience. I don't think you're going to convince anybody there to look for somebody that's just looking for a good time. These are all people. Their audience is people that look for the worst things in life, and they find it there.
Our live viewers think you should be on TNT. Judge EB on TNT.
The Maury Povich show is ending. Maybe we can have you come out and
that'd be great.
Yeah, start telling people, hey,
I
You
could be the
are
new
the
Maury
father.
Povich,
There you
and now
go.
we're in syndication, as George suggested. Oh man, I mean, Maury's shit is old, right? I could freshen that thing up.
Hell yes. Oh fuck yes.
And they
Screw
do
you!
feed,
I don't
feed
need
their
a
guests very
DNA
well.
test. You did it, you rotten bastard! You low life. Pay the fuck up. You don't even get a DNA test. I don't care about your DNA, loser. Just get your checkbook out, bitch.
It'll be like Jerry Springer if Jerry Springer got into a fight with everybody.
No, I'd want to be a judge though, because like Maury Povich isn't a judge. He's just a fucking.
Do you
stick
think
man.
Steve Harvey's a judge?
No, he's a
That's the
comedian for
point.
fuck's
That's a good
sake. He's
point.
not a judge.
I'm saying you can do whatever you want to do. You can do
All
Maury
right.
Povich and replace Maury Povich and be a judge.
All right, I want to be a judge. I want to have one of them fucking hammers.
It's called the gavel.
I want to have a hammer. I'm gonna say, bitch, come up here. Put your fingers right here at my desk. Wham!
Yes.
Would it be a
Get out of
van
my
hammer?
court.
It sounds
Would it
like
be a van
something.
hammer?
It sounds like something we need to workshop on ad-free shows.
That's what I'm saying. That's a
Judge
perfect
Eric
one.
Bischoff.
I love
Hey, you
it.
know what would be really fun now that we're riffing? This has nothing to do with wrestling. This has nothing to do with wrestling. But I'm going to actually steal an idea. I'm not even stealing it because I'm taking it in the open. I'm just hijacking this shit. Everybody knows it. Brian Knobs called me about 12 years ago, and he had an idea for a reality show. It was probably 15, maybe more than 15 years ago. When like reality shows, if you went in and pitched a reality show and anybody even knew who you were, they would go, fine, okay, we'll buy it. It was so easy. It was ridiculous. And the expectations were so low, as we all know,
Yeah.
which is what killed reality television.
Yeah,
But
they even gave Scott Baio a reality show.
back off! But Brian Knobs had a show, an idea for a show called Trailer Park Justice, where you had a guy who was the judge of the trailer park, and they brought all their trailer park bullshit to the judge, and the judge's word was final in the trailer park. Can you imagine the great stories and the bullshit you could get out of a good trailer park? That's the judge. I want to be a trailer park judge.
That could be a whole franchise, you know? Trailer Park Malibu.
I'll have my own trailer in a trailer park. It'll be black. I'd have the whole thing painted black just to intimidate motherfuckers. And you have to come into my trailer. That's my court. I just sit there in my trailer park couch with my trailer park cocktail, with my little mixer right next to it. And I'd be like raining down judgment upon those people in my trailer park. That'd be awesome.
That would be a
I
natty
wonder.
ice, right? A trailer park cocktail.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it would be. Hell yeah.
Some old English. Ugh.
Oh man.
Okay.
Well, let's
This
get
show
to-
has gotten really weird over the last couple
We
of weeks.
promised them weird. We're giving them a weird. Yeah.
It's working for us. We got a super chat here from someone calling themselves the bad guy in tribute, who says, Eric, what was your reaction to Test when he first came out? A lot of people thought he was intentionally ripping off Kevin Nash. Did you agree?
I either didn't see it or don't remember it if I did, which means it had zero impact on me. I Test?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a weird comparison, doesn't it?
I have never seen an image, and I knew Test, but even as a character, I've never seen an image that reminded me of Kevin Nash. In fact, I can't imagine. I know Test had longer hair for a while, so I guess maybe that's it. But nah, not even close.
I mean, I think it was comparable to Diesel in a certain extent. He had leather pants. He was really tall, long hair. The connection could be there, I think, but I think Test was a completely original character by the time he made it to TV.
And maybe visually there might be some connective tissue there that I just can't remember seeing. That's quite possible. But again, the character, the people. I mean, Kevin Nash, even as Diesel, was like a slow rolling. He was like a steam train, man. Like it kind of took a while to get him rolling and get him into whatever he was doing, but once he did, he was like a freight train. He went from being a coal locomotive to a steam locomotive to a nuclear freight train. I didn't see that same kind of thing in tests, but that's just me.
Well, here's one from NY2979. Thanks for the super chat. Who wants to know whose idea was it when you got attacked by Holland Nash and then power bombed? He said that was a crazy moment. Were you injured?
That was my idea. That was. You're talking about Baltimore, right?
Great American Bash '96.
Yep. Yeah, that was my idea because no one would have suggested that to me. It's not like Scott just got hired, was walking on thin ice. Kevin, pretty much the same. Neither one of those two would have come to me and said, "Hey, boss, I got an idea. Come on out. We're going to beat the fuck out of you, and I'm going to power bomb you off a stage." Like a month into their contract. Nah. No, that was my idea. And I didn't get hurt at all. I could have easily, because as we discussed afterwards, we didn't rehearse it much. We rehearsed it backstage. We didn't rehearse it on the set. And all I rehearsed was, okay, this is how you get up into a power bomb. Go over, he picks you up. As he's picking you up, get into a sit-up, relax, off you go, hope for the best. And once we got out there, Kevin, when he picked me up, now we're on live TV, scoop me up, I sit up, I'm right here in his face. I mean, he's got a face full of my balls. That's all he's got.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to throw me to a very specific spot that he can't see because he's got my fucking balls in his face. And we didn't realize that till we got out there. Well, I didn't even realize it till after we got through it. He goes, man, fuck, that was crazy. I didn't know where I was throwing you because I couldn't see anything. I go, well, okay, that worked out good.
Wow.
Nothing ruins a good moment than having balls in your face.
I mean, you showed him how literally and figuratively big your balls are.
Facts.
Kevin Nash knows almost better than anybody. We're going to leave that alone. Sorry, Lori.
Oh, wow. It's hot.
Real quick one from
Steve, you'll be getting a call tomorrow morning. You might want to just you might want to mark the time code up.
33.5. Got it. If you could pick one of today's wrestlers to put into the NWO, who would it be? AEW or WWE?
I love that.
I would go AEW. I'd find somebody in AEW for the reasons we just talked about as we opened up the show. Everything's too pristine in WWE to have that edge and that vibe and that little bit of grit and just dangerousness. It's too perfect. So there's a roster full of people that I'd have a ball looking at over there.
Would MJF fit in there, or is he too ensconced in his own thing?
No, I would hate to see MJF do that with anybody. I would hate to see MJF become a part of anybody's group in any company. He has too much talent for that. And not that, great talented people don't function well as a team, but MJF is 24, 25 years old. Every time he opens his mouth, he gets better. I think he doesn't need or is best served to be sharing the limelight right now, the spotlight.
Yeah.
Just for his
Wardlow
growth.
learned that one the hard way.
Because the more that spotlight is on him, he's unique this way. Not everybody grows in this manner. He does, MJF. The more that camera is on him, the more attention he gets, the better he gets. The more he diversifies his presentation. Not in a larger sense, but he just gets better and better at being him. Why would you take the spotlight off someone like that who comes around once every, 40 years, maybe more? Why would you take that spotlight off, even just a little bit, and make him part of a group if he didn't need that help? He's on his way. Just let him grow. Let him grow slow, but let him grow by himself.
No, I like it. Now, as we're talking about evolution and comparisons, right? Somebody compared a young Test to young Kevin Nash. PSP Power actually has a question that I actually want to know because he and I had the same name, Adam, right? But why did Adam Baum not make it big, or Brian Clark not make it big? He was as big as tall and menacing a guy as maybe Hall and Nash, even Psycho Sid. And so why didn't he reach the peak level?
Adam, I'm not making fun of your question here because it's a valid question and an important one. But that's like saying, why doesn't every beautiful woman in Hollywood become a movie star? Or why doesn't every good looking guy in Hollywood become a movie star? Because it takes more than a look. It takes a certain amount of, it takes a talent. And it's an intangible talent that you can't necessarily teach. People refer to it generally as, charisma. Well, what is charisma? It's that magic ability to connect with people without ever really trying. And some people have it in an abundance and some people have none of it, no matter how they look. Even though when you look at them, you go, oh my God, you should be like this huge star, but you're not, because that part is missing. And it's not because they're not smart or not because they're not trying or not for any reason than just you either got it or you don't. You can't teach charisma. You can nurture it. You can bring it out in those that have it but are afraid of it. That's a different thing. That's a different process. But you still have to have it. But for people who don't, you can't give them a pill. You can't give them a book. You can't give them a class. You can't draw them a picture. You can't give them a shot. There's nothing you can do to create charisma that doesn't exist, no matter how someone looks. In any business, wrestling, movies, television, music, it's just something. I mean, even think about music. Why are some people stars in music? Because they're the best musicians? Or because they bring so much energy and a unique something to the stage that even though they're not the best singers or musicians, doesn't fucking matter. They're stars.
How much do you think confidence plays into that? Can someone effectively like fake it till they make it, till they feel like they're a big deal? Or if you're not secure in what you're doing, is it impossible to kind of exude that charisma?
In my opinion, it's impossible because it's fake. And that's the thing about charisma. It's real. It's genuine. It's just there. You're not trying. You're not working it. You've gotten comfortable because you're confident in a certain aspect of your personality that people find attractive. Sometimes you don't even have to. I'm going to struggle with this because it'll sound really, really self-absorbed. Or if I give the wrong example, then it's going to sound sexist. So I'm going to go with sexist.
We've been warned.
Christy, you're a very, very attractive woman. You know that you can walk into a room and because you're attractive and because you're on camera and because you're used to being in the limelight, you can walk into a room and just because you feel comfortable and you happen to be attractive, you're going to attract attention. Yes? No?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Adam, same thing, man. You're an outgoing guy. We've never met. We've never sat down over dinner or had a beer or anything like that. But I can tell you're an outgoing, fun, positive, open-minded guy. You're a good-looking guy. People, I would imagine, just want to be around you because you're pretty fun. Am I right or am I wrong?
Pretty right. Spot on.
That's charisma. And people that are confident and have charisma and are comfortable walking into their respective rooms of life, they attract people. I don't think you can do that if you're fake. Because you're not people will see it. You may think you're doing a good job. And that's what we see a lot on TV, right? People that think they're out there really doing a good job because they got the microphone and they're saying some cute shit or they're doing some great things in the ring, but they don't really have the charisma to make them a star. That's a hard part about any creative business is it's not, if it was easy, anybody could do it. There'd be a formula, there'd be a book, there'd be a college course. You could go to the University of Professional Wrestling and learn how to be a professional wrestler, and 7 times out of 10 be a star. But guess what? It's more like 1 out of 1,000. So no, can't do it being fake. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to give a lecture.
Love it.
Checks in the mail, ECE. Checks in the mail. Thank you.
Oh, that's going to be on your voicemail forever, Adam.
Oh, 100%. That's it.
Somebody's going to call you. They're going to listen to a 12-minute fucking voicemail.
That's it.
Chavo Alberto in the chat has a question for you, Eric, and I'm kind of curious myself. Eric, I'm starting a wrestling company, and I'd like to hire you. The question is obviously, what's your rate?
Mm-hmm. Once a week, live show, Eric, 2 hours. You're giving it your all. What are you charging?
And thank you very much. That's very nice of you to offer, but no. I love my life, man. I'm having a ball. Look what I get to do. I'm sitting here in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. It's a beautiful day. I'm sitting with my dog, having a beer, talking to my friends and making money. I'm sorry. You would need a subpoena and some significant motherfuckers with some tasers to get me out of my chair right now. Cash isn't going to do it.
What if you were an on-screen general manager or authority figure?
I don't want to do
but you
it.
never had to leave the room. Even if you never have to leave the room
No,
you're in right now.
I've done that. I was the greatest general manager of all time, both in real life in WCW and as a character in WWE. Why would I want to take a step backwards? Who wants to do that?
You could be the greatest
anybody
remote
listening
general
to this
manager
wants to go back
of
to
all
junior
times.
high? Hey,
I
I
would.
got an idea. What if you could be the smartest kid in the 7th grade? Who the fuck wants to do that? Nobody.
Well, kind of along those lines, Alexander Fitzgerald wants to know if you think AEW should have an on-screen authority figure or a GM. And if so, Alexander says his money is on Eric Bischoff for the next GM of AEW. Apparently, that would take a lot of money and a taser.
No, it's
And a subpoena.
no, most of the taser is, and it's, look, I don't have a lot of money. I'm not a rich guy. So I don't want to make it sound like there's no amount of money because I have so much. It's not true. I love money. And it would be hard for me to turn down a lot of money because I need a lot of money to feed this monster I've created over the last 30 years. But I also know that I have to be really passionate about something in order to be good at it. And I couldn't get passionate about doing something I've already done for so long at such a high level. I just couldn't do it. So it would be kind of like stealing money. If somebody were silly enough to offer me a lot of money to take that role, it would be disingenuous of me to do it because my heart's not in that. Now, that's the honest answer. But for a period of time before I got to that honest answer, I'd be going, oh, fuck, that'd be great. I get to go out in front of a live crowd because I'm a junkie. I want that rush of getting out in front of a live crowd. I love it. But that's selfish, and it's only good for me for a week or two, and then I'm back doing something that I'm not passionate about anymore, and I don't get the rush. It's no longer fun. That's the reality of that kind of and I've, by the way, have had to have that discussion with myself over the past year. I just don't want to do that anymore. And it's, I don't know how to say this. I so don't want to give the impression that I'm too good for it. I just think I'm too old for it, and I've already done it.
What about audience's appetite for something like that? Do you think AEW could benefit from having someone in that role?
Somebody, yeah, but it would. I said this in a Sports Illustrated article that I think came out today, or last night. I think the role of a general manager or a commissioner or some authority figure, I think it's absolutely necessary. Here's what drives me batshit. Like the first time I see somebody making a match for themselves on television, I'm changing the channel because you guys are too fucking lazy to create any kind of structure to make sense of it. To me, that's like an NFL football team showing up on the sidelines without any notes, no playbooks. Let's just call it on the fly. When I see that shit, when I see two people come out, now you could, I will make a concession and say that if it's a world heavyweight champion that is willing to make a match and agree to a match with someone challenging him, I'll take that. I will buy into the fact that the world heavyweight champion has a contract that somewhere says within that contract that they have the ability to approve or disapprove of matches on a cause-related basis or some bullshit. I could do that. But to see people who are not anywhere even near to the top of the card going out and making matches, to me, you're telling me you don't have a fucking clue what you're doing. You're just throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. There's no rhyme or reason because there's no structure. And if there's no structure, there's no believability. And if there's no believability, we're just watching an exhibition. And I'm not pointing fingers at any one organization because I see it across the board. It's a fucking weak excuse for not having any creative. No, it's a good excuse for not having any creative. It's a weak creative approach. You need to have an authority figure. Now, I will tell you at the end of all this diatribe that I think the authority figure has been overplayed. I overplayed it. It's been done to death. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It means you should figure out a better way to do it. Fix it. Don't quit. Biatches.
That needs to be a shirt.
Don't quit, biatches.
And fix it. There you go.
A gym shirt, I think, probably best. Here's a great one, Eric. PS Power says there was an episode of Family Feud, WCW versus Glow. What are your thoughts on Glow and its wrestlers, such as Hollywood and Sally the Farmer's Daughter? Did you have any favorites from Glow?
Are we talking about the original syndicated series that came on at about midnight when I was about 20?
Oh, yeah. What is it, 1989 or so?
No, I remember it. I remember it existed because I used to go, this is horrible. And I thought, here's what I really thought about the original Glow syndicated series. I thought somebody was brilliant because that time period that Glow was on was usually like 11 to midnight or midnight to 1 or 1 to 2, whatever time zone you're in, which is when everybody, millions of guys who are out playing softball or hanging out with their buddies or in college or at the bar and they're watching television and they're drinking beer. And what a perfect late night bar television experience to have than Glow for 18 to 34-year-old drunks. It's perfect. And that's how it worked. That was its niche. So I was aware of it and I put it over in my mind for that. But beyond that, I didn't pay any attention to it.
Well, let's definitely get to this one from Ibzon, who asks, in 1997, if the rope breaks or the ring collapses and you're in the back, what would the protocol be to not stop Nitro? You're live on TV and the ring breaks. What's the protocol? Oh.
It's
Is that from Ibzon?
recognize this? There you go.
Love that.
I'm sorry, I was goofing during that question. What would be the protocol be if we were live on television and the rope breaks in the middle of the ring? Is that it?
Yeah. The ring collapses.
Just keep on wrestling. It's live TV. The show must go on. Come on. That's what's the beauty of live TV. Call it on the fly.
And it goes to show how much of a pro maybe a wrestler is. I mean, is the wrestler defined by the top rope breaking, or is he defined by the story that he's telling in the ring?
That's a philosophical question that I think deserves a tremendous amount of debate.
Let's do it. We're all here for it. Oh, well,
It's the meaning of life.
I do want to ask a question. Obviously, a lot of talk, about Scott Hall being one of the best to never win a world title has been, for the last 2 weeks, and a lot of people kind of responded, put him in the same class as Piper and a few others, and saying like they didn't need it. They didn't need to be the world champion. Is it always an instance of a guy needing it as opposed to just deserving it? Like, is there ever a time where you just give a guy a world title because he deserves it?
I don't like the word deserves when it comes
or maybe earns it.
What is earning it? And I'm not picking on you, George. It's a good question. Define earning it. How does one earn that opportunity? One earns that opportunity by virtue of the perception that the shot caller, executive producer, person in control, whatever you want to call it, sees in you that suggests to him or her that you could go above and beyond that role, that you're somebody that, as good as you are, you would be even better from a revenue perspective, which means a storytelling perspective, as a world champion. That's not something you deserve. It's something you earn. And I think in Scott's case, there are certain characters that are so good in their role just underneath that world title, because in order to get somebody and catapult them into that position, they need a foe. And it has to be a foe that is so good and so believable and so consequential within the storytelling framework that it allows that star to reach that level. And Scott was one of those people, like Roddy Piper, and there have been others, that are so valuable as a catapult that you can't afford to put them, or it doesn't make sense to put them in the role as a champion, because they're more valuable to you in the position they are. And by the way, in my opinion, that position is more valuable than the heavyweight position from a financial point of view. I'd rather have 3 or 4 people making twice as much of my world heavyweight champion that could consistently allow me to elevate people into that position, because then you can recycle them through and they can become one of the others that catapult others. That's how you build people. That's what I keep talking about. What are we building? Where's the audience building? How is it growing? And that's a perfect kind of snapshot into how you build characters. But you have to have a powerful character to build upon. And in many respects, that valuable character is more valuable than sometimes, in the long term, the short-term champion. Randy Orton, come on. Perfect example. Chris Jericho. Guys that are so fucking good, they can make anybody. Ric Flair in his day. Those are the guys you can't. Those are the most valuable. Those are the most enduring.
Matt Godfrey, it was quite a bit ago. He wanted to point out that you've never actually unblocked him on Twitter.
Every week, Matt.
For fuck's sake, Kaufmann, get a hold of my Twitter credentials and unblock this guy, would you?
Done.
Take the power. Take the power. Well, we do have a few more minutes left to answer some questions from our ad-free shows, friends, but we are going to sign off on the 83 Weeks channel here in just a moment. Before we do, our final thought from PS Power Eric, who says, "You're salty because that episode of Family Feud, the Glow Ladies destroyed and humiliated the WCW wrestlers, including Sting." So, wow. The Glow Ladies took that one, I guess.
Bitches.
On that note, I think we better get to our after party with our special top guys and ad-free shows, friends. So if you have joined us live on the 83 Weeks channel, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. We do this every Thursday live at 5 p.m. Pacific time, breaking down the latest episode of 83 Weeks. And head over to adfreeshows.com and join up over there so that you can hang out for the special after party where things get really loose, let's just say. So
looser than
thank
this?
you, everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, can you imagine? I know. What a tease. And
Also,
on that note,
Also, quick note to our ad-free friends, that link wasn't posted at 5, but it's up there now. So go to adfreeshows.com and you will get the link to us continuing.
Join the after party. And on that note, guys, we're going to get to it. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Eric, your one-liners, my goodness.
I'm sorry?
Your one-liners today, it's just amazing. Just brilliance.
Well, I'm having fun.
Yes.
You guys make me laugh.
Yeah, man. Yes. You make us laugh. You make us happy. You're the center of our wrestling universe. And if he isn't, don't, yeah, I mean.
You guys complete me. Okay, beat that one.
Oh. I'm giving you
I
Mario
hope people are hearing
Yamasaki's.
this.
Yeah. I'm giving him Mario Yamasaki. He was the MMA ref that did hearts with his fingers, but also made